Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, or hi, my name is Stacy if you're new here. So for today's video, we're reviewing the whole M Cosmetics Masterpiece collection that launched recently. I'll be doing a full face try on of both the sultry neutrals and soft neutrals, and also show like arm swatches and a couple comparisons with some other M Cosmetics products. So if you want to see that, then just keep on watching. But before we get into it, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see more content like this, because it really helps out my channel and it really means a lot to me. And let's just get right into the video. Okay, so I'm gonna start off with reviewing the darker set. I think M Cosmetics calls it like the sultry neutrals. I'll start off with some hand swatches first. Here's the palette. This is the Da Vinci palette. Okay, so I'm gonna start off with this shade right here, which I think is called Renaissance. This is like a nice champagne-y golden shade. Definitely has a strong golden undertone. You can see. Next up we have the shade Enigma, which is like this middle, darker, kind of antique gold. Okay, so this is my first time trying M Cosmetics eyeshadows, and they're very buttery smooth. I really like the formula. It just has this yellowy, grungy undertone. You can see here. Okay, next we have this portrait shade. This is like the milk chocolate satiny shade. This looks like a really pretty color actually. Like, looks quite unique. So that one is portrait, I believe. It looks warmer on my hand, but I think it will be more neutral like on the eyes because again, my hand is super pale. Next up with the shade Ochre. It's kind of like a mustardy yellow. You can see that here. Okay, now I'm going in with the shade Sienna, which looks true to its name. It looks like a burnt sienna shade. One on the bottom there. Lastly, we have the shade Sfumato. This one is extra pigmented. I barely dipped my finger in that one and it's already like full opacity basically. So far I'm very impressed with the formula of these because I haven't tried it before. So here is the whole hand swatched. Try to show you like the shimmers and the mattes. Then here's it like closer to my face. You can see how it looks all together. This is a perfect color story for fall. Like, I would be super into these during the fall, but now since like winter turning spring, I feel like I won't reach for these as much, but it's still like a really nice neutral palette. And I think especially if you have deeper skin tones, it'll really suit you well. Oh, and I also want to swatch this Heaven's Glow blush in the shade Rococo. As you can see here, it's like a darker terracotta shade. In case I'm dipping my finger in. I picked up a lot, but you can see here, it's the bottom shade. I hope you can see like the sheen that it has. It has a very like slight pearlescence, as all of the Heaven's Glow blushes do, but they're not super highlightery. That tone looks really nice. Really nice nudie terracotta shade. And lastly, I'm gonna swatch this lip cushion tinted luminizer. This is in the shade Van Gogh. So this is super pigmented, as all her lip luminizers are. Love this formula, it's super hydrating. I always feel like my lips are super nourished after using it. Let me blend it out a little. So again, this is also kind of like a terracotta-y brown based shade, but it's also like quite rosy too. Like, it has enough red in it. A rosy terracotta brown. Now we're gonna put all of these on my face after I wipe it off my hands. So now I'm back and I'm gonna put the Da Vinci palette on my eyes. I'm gonna try to use all of the colors. So let's start off with this ochre shade right here. Now I zoomed you guys in. This is the ochre shade that I'm just putting all over my eye as a base color kind of. I'm using a really light hand with this because these shadows are quite pigmented. So if you want, you can really build it up, but since I want to just use this as like an all over base. Okay, so now I'm gonna go in with this milk chocolate shade, the shade Portrait. This one actually looks surprisingly nice. Like, I feel like I didn't care about it in the pictures. So let's just put this all over. I think it does kind of look warmer on me than in the pan. That's just something to keep in mind. I'm also gonna run this ochre shade along my bottom lash line just because it looks a little bit naked right now. Okay, so that's a good base. So now we're gonna go in with the sienna shade to kind of start deepening up things. I'm gonna add this to the outer corners. Also adding to this triangle zone right here. But you see how like the placement is kind of messy, so then I just blend it out along the edges with a fluffier brush. So we'll get like the blend that we want. Next, I'm gonna go in with this middle Enigma shade and use that as like a point color on the center of my lid. It kind of almost has like a green undertone, whereas I feel like all of the other ones have like a warmer undertone. So it is quite unique, but I feel like this isn't my favorite shade. I'm just blending along the edges. Okay, now I'm gonna use Sfumato, the darkest brown, and we're gonna use that as an eyeshadow liner. That's usually what I use these like really dark browns for. I tend to not use them like within the look itself, just because I don't prefer my eye makeup to go like too smoky, generally speaking. But these shades are always great for lining your eyes, giving that definition. Okay, so that's it for lining the eyes, and now I'm going to go into the final shade, which is this Renaissance shade. Nice champagne-y highlighting shade. I'm just gonna use that in the inner corners. I'm gonna pull that up. And also use that on my little under eye bag. Look how much like more three-dimensional this one looks compared to this one. Like it just really made it pop. Now we're gonna do the same on this side. So it is a little bit dark as like an inner corner highlights. So if you're my skin tone, just be aware of that. But I feel like it's still light enough to be like highlighting. Like it doesn't add a really crazy cast. Okay, so that's the eyes all done. I'm gonna quickly put mascara on and be right back to do the rest of the face. Okay, so now I'm back with the mascara on. So now we're gonna go into the blush, which I'm really excited for. Okay, so these, there's like a lot of kick up in the pan, so you have to like really tap it off. And now I'm just gonna lightly place it on my cheeks. That's gorgeous! Oh my gosh! And there's like this natural sheen happening. Wait, the way that this blush is actually so beautiful. It's kind of like a terracotta flush, but it's still like nude enough. Like, I'd say it's right in between a nude and like a sunburn color. But I will say that it does come off warmer on the cheeks than it looks in the pan. Like it looks very brown, but you can see the difference in shade. At least on my skin tone. You can see the sheen here as I turn my head. It's so pretty. I'm in love with it. Lastly, we're gonna put on this lip cushion. So I'm gonna remove the lip serum I have on right now and be right back. This is the Van Gogh shade. Very pigmented right off the bat. Okay, so I want to show you a light layer first. This is like half a layer because I only put it on my bottom lip. Yeah, this is the shade, really smudged out. I prefer to wear it like this because I don't really like super dark lip colors, and it looks more natural this way, like with the rest of my face. So now I'll show you what it looks like built up a little more. Okay, so this is after another layer. As you can see, it's a bit darker, but it actually doesn't get super deep. Like, I would still consider it in like the medium category. Okay, so because that lip color is a little bit deep, I'm going to add some more blush because it helps balance out the rest of the face. I'm gonna try going across my nose like this. Yeah, you can see how it literally looks like I got a sunburn. This would be really pretty in the summer, I feel like. This is actually a very summery fall blush for that like sunburnt, I just went on vacation look. Or in the fall because it has like this ruddy, rusty undertone. And the same with the lips. So here's the final sultry neutrals look. What do we think? So now I'm gonna take all of this off and put the soft neutral set on my face. Okay, so now I'm back with my face all blanked out. I'm gonna start off with hand and arm swatches. So this eyeshadow palette is called Rodin, excuse my French. So this looks like this. So this is definitely the palette that immediately caught my eye. It's just like softer, more peachy based neutrals. So we start off with our highlighting shade called Whisper. Just a nice champagne-y color. This definitely has a golden undertone though, as you can see, hopefully. I think it is a little bit lighter than the other one in the Da Vinci palette. Okay, next up we have the shade Muse. Okay, I think this one is sheerer actually. It has a bit more glimmer rather than like a smooth metallic, if that makes sense. Like it kind of has glittery particles, but they're very, very small and also kind of spread out. Like it's not super impactful. Next shade is Masterpiece. This one right here. Ooh, okay, so this one is quite dark. Also a classic metallic. The classic metallic bronze. It's kind of like not too warm, not too cool, but it's kind of grungy because it's a little bit deep. Okay, so next we have the shade Timeless. Yeah, this is a perfect timeless transition shade. Kind of like a taupey, neutrally brown. Ooh, I really like that. Next we have the shade Clay. It kind of has like a pinkier, peachier undertone. So yeah, you can see how it was basically like timeless but a little bit peachier. Like it has like a rosy undertone. And then lastly we have the darkest shade in the palette called Sculpt. This is a really nice shade as well. It's the perfect deepening or like eyeliner shade. So this is the palette all together. Super pretty. I'm already liking this one more because this is more up my alley. Next we have the Heaven's Glow blush in the shade Baroque. Ooh, so this one is much lighter than the other one, and it's also quite peachy. It's like a peachy nude. You can see it here. The very bottom swatch, there is a sheen to it. But yeah, it's very light peachy nude. I don't think that this would really show up on deeper skin tones. I'll try to build it up again. But yeah, like this is about how dark it's gonna go. And this is on my like fair skin tone. So yeah, but this is a perfect like light nude shade for light skin tones. Okay, lastly we have the lip cushion in the shade Mona Lisa. Okay, here's one swipe. Very nice nudie brown shade. Kind of reminds me of like a latte or like a milk tea. So yeah, this is what the shade looks like on my skin tone. It's a very nice nudie neutral shade. Okay, so this is all of the shades together from the soft neutrals collection. So I'm gonna remove this from my arm so I can put the products on my face. Okay, so now I'm back to do the eyeshadow portion. So again, I'm gonna start with this shade here called Timeless. I'm gonna use that as an all-over base shade. Yeah, this is the perfect transition shade for my skin tone. It's just super easy to work with. Don't have to worry about it getting too dark. You see how it kind of like contours my eyes? We're also gonna put that shade on the bottom lash line. Okay, I'm gonna also deepen a little bit using this shade called Clay. Just deepen the outer corner. And also in this triangle zone. Since this masterpiece color is quite dark, I think I'm going to just kind of like keep it on the outskirts. I'm gonna put this in the outer corner to kind of use it as like a contouring shade also, because I don't want this whole look to be smoky. But yeah, you can see how it's actually quite dark. So this palette, although it looks lighter than the other one, it actually goes quite deep. So I'd say you can actually get about the same depth and then blending over the whole thing. Now we're gonna go into the main point color, which is Muse. I actually really like this shade because I prefer more like shimmery, glittery metallics. So this is like getting closer to that. I hope you can see like the little shimmery, glittery particles. So now I'm gonna line my eyes with the Sculpt shade. And lastly, I'm gonna go into the highlighting shade called Whisper. So I do wish that this highlighting shade was a little bit brighter just because this is supposed to be like the lighter palette and it's not a super highlighty shade on my skin tone. In fact, it has a quite golden undertone. Like I wish it was a little bit more champagne-y or even like peachy or something, but like a lighter peach. Like it's not much lighter than the lid shade that we used. That's all for the eyeshadow. I'm gonna go off camera and do my mascara and I'll be right back to do the rest of the face products. Okay, so now I'm back with the mascara all done. These are the eyes. Okay, so now we're gonna go into the blush. So this is the shade Baroque, and again, there's like a ton of kick up. This was much, much lighter than the Rococo shade. So it's a very nice nudie, like bronzy blush that leans a little bit peachy. And I'm like really digging into this because it's super light. That makes it really foolproof though. And I do really like this tone. Can you see that pearlescence? Ooh, that's so pretty. I'm just gonna keep building it up on my cheekbone area, kind of. Because these blushes like act as both a blush and a highlighter. I am loving it. You can see how the sheen is getting pretty prominent because I really built it up on my cheeks to get this color. Definitely has more of a highlighter effect than the other one, but I think it's just because I used more product. Also, I will say that the highlight leans a little bit pinky, but it's like a pinky champagne, so it still looks natural. But it's interesting because I feel like the pearl itself is a different shade than the blush. So just keep that in mind if you don't like this kind of like pinky shift to it. But I like it actually, because I like the tone of the pink. I feel like it's hard to get right. Lastly, we're gonna go in with the Mona Lisa shade for the lips. So this is very nude. I wish I could find it. Okay, so this is a pretty interesting shade actually, because I don't think I have any lip color like this. It's very much like a milk chocolate brown kind of, or like kind of like a milk tea color, and it has some gray to it. So I feel like the grayness is not the most flattering, but I feel like it looks kind of cool. Like it looks interesting and kind of modern. If you don't like that cool lip look, you're not gonna like this. But I will say it is quite wearable for like this cool brown nude. So this is like with one layer, so you can kind of still see my lip color through it, although I don't have much lip color. I'm gonna build it up a little more. And I feel like I'm surprised by how much I like it because it reminds me a lot of my natural lip color, because my natural lip color has like a gray tinge to it. So it looks like that, but better. This is very, like only certain people will like it. So yeah, here's the finished soft neutrals look. Okay, so let me take out my hair clips and like set my face and then we can discuss my final thoughts on this collection. Okay, so I'm back. So actually I want to get into some comparisons within the M Cosmetics line. So I don't have any of the other eyeshadow palettes, but I do have the Venetian Rose blush, so I'm going to compare it to these ones. Here's Venetian Rose, and we're going to swatch her. Yeah, I definitely think that there are significant differences between these, but just wanted to show you in case you were wondering. Here are the 3 blushes I have swatched. So you can see Venetian Rose is a lot more rosy and just more vibrant, whereas the other ones are just a lot more brown basically. Also, I used to have the Magic Hour blush, but I don't have it anymore because I gave it away because that one is very peachy and I thought it actually leaned too orange for my taste. because you know I don't like super orange peaches. So that one just looked very orange on me, which was a no for me. So yeah, if you find peaches look too orange on you, that's not a good one. So all of these blushes have like a pearlized finish to them. So they all have like this shimmer running through it. The shimmer in the Magic Hour one is actually like this pink fuchsia color, like that holographic pink color that a lot of highlighters are. I didn't like the fact that that blush was too orange and it had this weird like holographic pink shift to it, which I feel like no one mentions ever. I think it's because it's quite subtle. You only see it if you build it up a lot, and also I think only in certain lightings, but I noticed it and I really dislike that shade of highlighter. But yeah, with all of these, I like the pearls in them. Also with Baroque, as I mentioned earlier, it does have like this pinky shift to it, but it's like a champagne pink, which is the type of pink that I'm okay with. As you can see on my cheeks, it does like have this pink shift. Just letting you know if that's important to you. Yeah, those are the blushes. And then I do want to swatch the tinted lip cushions. So I'm gonna swatch these two new lip cushions to the other like more nude lip cushions that they have in their collection. Okay, so here we have Magic Hour. So this is like a peachy nude, but the peach is quite strong. So it's like more peach. It's like a muted peach. And next we have Venetian Rose. So this one was the most nude out of all of the existing ones, because this one also has like a grayish tinge to it. But as you can see, it's quite rosy as well. On the lips, it pulls more gray because my hand is just really white. Next, I'll swatch Mona Lisa, which is the current one I have on. It's really hard to swatch and not like see where I'm swatching. Here's Mona Lisa. As you can see, it's much more nude and just like more dull than the other two. And lastly, we have Van Gogh, like so. Okay, so we have Magic Hour, Venetian Rose, Mona Lisa, and Van Gogh. Sorry that my swatches are kind of ugly. Yeah, as you can see, Mona Lisa is like actually the lightest and most nude out of all of the shades. The Rococo shade looks a little bit similar to Venetian Rose. As you can see, Venetian Rose has a little bit more mauve and rose to it, whereas Rococo has a little bit more red and brown. So that's kind of the difference between these two. And then yeah, Magic Hour is just like in its own thing. It's just very peachy. These are the four most similar in my opinion. Now I'm just gonna wrap up my final thoughts on the whole collection. Okay, so starting off with the eyeshadow palettes, if I had to pick one, I would recommend Rodin over Da Vinci, simply because I think Rodin is a little bit more versatile. So this one is supposedly the lighter one, and this is like the darker one, but actually they kind of have similar depths. Like Rodin can get pretty deep, especially because it has this deepening shade, and especially with this like darker shimmer as well, you can get a pretty smoky look. So this would be more like which color story you like better, and I prefer the more like rosy undertone. Or this one actually has like this almost like yellow mustardy undertone, as you can see here. I feel like it's perfect for fall though, or if you like these like kind of yellow grungy tones almost. So for these, just pick based on which color story you like. Okay, next, moving on to the blushes. So these I would say are actually my favorite part of the collection, just because I'm super into these like nudie tone blush shades, and there is a significant difference between the two. Baroque, which is this one, just does not get deep at all. Like this is about the deepest that Baroque is gonna go. I feel like the deepest that this would show up on is like a light medium skin tone. Like I don't even think that this is gonna show up on a medium skin tone. But if you are a light skin tone and you always struggle with finding like a good nude blush that's not too like pink on you, this would be really good. It's just a really natural, everyday, almost like bronzy blush. So yeah, this is perfect for those people who are like afraid of blush. Also really hard to overdo this one. Like it's literally impossible. As you can see, I built up like multiple layers of this. And then for the Rococo shade, I really like this one. I actually found it really easy to use even on my light skin tone. But I feel like deep skin tones will also love this one. It will look even more nude on them. It would look more like a rosy brick nude on me. It's like a little bit deeper, and I do have to use a lighter hand. I like that. I feel like this is the equivalent of this, but just for deeper skin tones. So this will definitely work on anyone from like medium to deep skin tones, I feel like as a nude blush. I'm really happy that they rounded out their blush collection with these like nude shades, because all the other ones are quite bright. Make sure to look into these. And then lastly, we have the tinted lip cushions. These are my favorite like tinted lip balm type formula. As for the shades, I think more people are going to like the Van Gogh shade. It's less dependent like on your skin tone and preferences. Like I feel like this is just a nice, again, rosy brick nude. And then as for Mona Lisa, I feel like it's quite a light grayish brown, but I feel like it does have the tiniest bit of pink in it to make it lively enough. I think this would only work on people who, first of all, have like a lighter skin tone, because I feel like it might be kind of ashy on deeper skin tones, since it's already like kind of graying out my lips, and my lips are pale to begin with. So yeah, this is definitely going to be more based on your preference. Like if you like a really light nudie nude, or if you like cool tone nudes, like you don't like your lips looking too rosy, you're gonna love this. It might also work if you have very like red lips and you want to kind of dull them out, like if they're too much with like your makeup look or something and you need a lip color that will kind of tone down the color of your lips, this will actually work well for that. I feel like you would actually really like this, and this is a very unique shade. There are not many lip colors like this at all on the market. I don't think I own any lip color like this. This is more like for specific occasions or people who like this lip color. I really like both of them, and also I think that they would be really pretty mixed together because the Mona Lisa will kind of tone down the reddishness of the Van Gogh shade, make it a little bit more nude. So like I feel like these two together would be like a perfect nude for me. Let's mix it right now. So I'm just adding a little bit of Van Gogh to the center. Okay, so here we go. This is the two mixed. It's more like Mona Lisa on the outer part of my lips and then Van Gogh on the center. But I really like how that looks. It adds the perfect amount of like color to my face and kind of livens up my complexion a little bit more. Overall though, I think the collection is really a hit, and I like that there's equivalents for like lighter and deeper skin tones and that most of the products are quite versatile. So yeah, that's about all my thoughts for today's video. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you liked this video, and comment and subscribe down below if you want to see more content like this because it really helps out my channel and it would really mean a lot to me. And I'll see you all in my next video. Bye!